Hello, ladies and gentlemen. James here. Hope you're doing well. I'm feeling kind of still pain. Anyway, you're probably familiar with this case, right? I'm going to play a couple of short videos of this Ryan Hinton situation, and then I'm going to show you how this is similarity to it happened 20-something years ago. And hopefully the video pop up. Has some technical.
It's okay. Protect your family's dreams under our roof. American Family Insurance.
These commercials.
This all started yesterday morning. We're told plainclothes officers used GPS to track a stolen car down to a condo parking lot here in East Price Hill. Chief Terry Thiegy says when uniformed police arrived, 4 people got out of the car and started running. One of them allegedly aimed his gun at officers. That's when a plainclothes officer shot and killed him. Police later tracked down and took 2 other people that were in that car into custody.
We have just learned the names of the 2 people now facing charges after a chase that ended with a deadly police shooting in East Price Hill.
Austin Durrell and DeAnthony Bullocks are due in court this morning. Both men are accused of receiving stolen property and obstructing official business. TBD tells us they ran from officers investigating a stolen car at a condo on Warsaw Avenue yesterday. Another suspect was shot after officers say he pointed a gun at them. A 4th person is still on the run.
Now, Kober says he spoke to the officer who fired the deadly shot during that chase.
You don't have time to think in this situation. It's nothing more than a reaction because you want to save yourself. Anytime something like this happens, there's a range of emotions that they go through. But I have no doubt that the officer will come through this okay.
Hit by a car while directing traffic. Thanks for joining us at 4 o'clock. I'm Ashley Kirkland.
And good evening to you. I'm Cherie Colella. We are now learning that deputy is in critical condition. A few officers telling me, quote, extremely critical condition. All of this unfolding just a short time ago along Martin Luther King Drive at Burnett Woods. And that's where we find WLWT News Host Brian Hamrick. Brian, what can you tell us about this crash?
Yeah, Cherie, well, that's exactly where we are. We're right at that intersection of MLK and Burnett Woods. Let me show you exactly what's happening. There's a pretty good vantage point from here, really the only place where you can see exactly what's happening here. You can see this vehicle. This is a dark-colored vehicle. This is where all the activity has been. They have not sent anyone up to tell us exactly what is happening here, so we're going to show you what's happening, at least with the investigation part of it. See that vehicle? The front of it appears to be smashed into this pole right here at MLK and Burnett Woods. It was a very powerful impact. The tire is underneath of it. The side of that vehicle is smashed in. They've now started putting evidence markers on the side of that vehicle. Officers have been out here all day long. And let me give you a little bit of sound from what officers heard when they began to respond to this call.
Yo, what's up, people? We is back. Nowadays on Keep It G News. Today always in Columbus, Ohio, to talk about a situation that I think is bizarre. But this is one of the situations that a lot of people talk about. A lot of people talk about the police and how you should handle the police. And everybody is beefing with each other, but the police is causing all this trouble. The police is doing this and doing that. And nobody makes them answer for the bullshit that they did. Well, in this situation here, it was kind of different. But it's sad at the same time because I think this is a situation where nobody wins. Nobody wins, when you let your anger and frustration get the best of you. But in this situation in particular, I kind of understand it. Not saying that he did the right thing, but I get it. What do you do when you lose a child? As a matter of fact, what do you do when you lose a child by the hands of the police? And you don't believe it was justified. So in this video, we're going to go through the whole series of events. The videos y'all just watched was the arrest of 2 kids along with the death of Ryan Hinton. Now, Ryan Hinton was an 18-year-old kid, y'all, gunned down yesterday or the day before by Columbus police. in a stolen car riding in a kid. You know, we had conversations about that kid. We all know Tommy G is the one that popularized the Kid Boys and brought it to the world, and next thing you know it went from city to city, state to state, and there been a lot of death and destruction because of that. But for some reason, he gets untalked about when we talk about the Kid Boys, even though he's the guy that popularized it. But this ain't about Tony G. This is about Ryan Hinton and his death. Now, video footage got released, and I'm going to play the video footage. But like I told y'all at the beginning, what do you do as a parent? Because what you find out in this situation, because you seen the car crash, and you probably wonder, how is this related? But what you find out in this situation is, it's all related because Ryan Hinton's father, Rodney Hinton Jr., is actually the guy that mowed down the police. And at the time, they didn't know that. But what you're going to find out in this next clip is, it's all connected, it's all related. And the reason why he mowed down the police is because the police murdered his son.
Martin Luther King. It's going to be an officer, LCD officer involved, accident. Martin Luther King. It is confirmed officer down. Confirmed officer down.
Yeah, now we have confirmed that the deputy who was hit was recently retired from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department. He was on a special duty here. His name's not been released.
Just to give you an update on an incident that you're aware of, I'm sure it happened earlier this afternoon, approximately 1 p.m. We had an auto accident at Martin Luther King, Barnett Woods Drive, where a Hamilton County deputy was struck. He was outside his vehicle conducting traffic enforcement. He was struck by a vehicle. It saddens me tremendously to make you aware that he has since passed. And what is significant for people to know about this accident is the officer was just out doing his job, directing traffic up near the University of Cincinnati for what was supposed to be a glorious day for many. What is significant also to know about this auto accident, as you know, we had a critical incident yesterday in the city of Cincinnati, an officer-involved shooting at approximately 9 a.m. yesterday morning. There is a connection between these two incidents. The driver of today's vehicle that struck a deputy has a family relationship with the 18-year-old that we shot yesterday. So that is currently under investigation by both our homicide unit as well as the traffic unit. Traffic unit and homicide jointly investigating the traffic accident. Again, it saddens me to report out that we lost a law enforcement officer in this city today, in this county.
So Rodney Hinton Jr., y'all, mowed down the police that was doing traffic control. Hold it down. Now, I told y'all at the beginning of the video, they didn't know if all this was connected, but once they locked him up and found out his last name and found out who his son was, they put all the pieces to the puzzle together. He might have admitted to it. And the reason why I say he might have admitted to it is because what you're going to find out also in this video is Rodney stood on it. Like, he is completely cool with his decision making. And y'all know how I feel about that. If that's how you going to rock, stand on it. Not saying he did the right thing, but what do you do? What do you do? Because like I said, I'm going to show y'all the video. Before I show y'all the video, I want y'all to see how Rodney Hinton reacted in his bail hearing. After he decided, or the judge decided that he was going to give him no bail, and y'all see the police presence, Rodney Hinton Jr. walked out that courthouse with his head held high.
As he was being escorted out of the courtroom, he appeared to shout at deputies he's going to be gone forever, though it's unclear if he's referring to the deputy that he's accused of killing or his son who was killed by a Cincinnati police officer on Thursday. Here's what we learned from court earlier this morning after that tense appearance, surrounded by dozens of deputies inside and outside the courtroom. We're learning more details from the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office about what's now being called a deliberate attack.
I'm going to stop it right here. You'll probably see this, but I want to show you something right quick. This incident in Cincinnati is no coincidence. I remember I lived in Cincinnati some years ago, back in the early 2000s, moved from Northeast Ohio. and that city was on curfew because shooting of this young man right here. Let's see if it pops up. Oh, shoot. It was because of this. This was 20 years ago. So, yeah, this is about no chance of coincidence. Cincinnati has a historical racial tone down there. It was even before that. So I need to get the video. I'm glad I don't live down. To be honest with you, I'm glad I don't live down there no more. You know, it's a whole different world. You go to any part of Ohio, Cincinnati's in its own different world. That's my opinion. You know, as far as living there. But I mean, you go and visit there. I guess this page is not. Oh, shoot. Let me see. It's buffering. Oh boy.
Happened to the city. 20 years later, we look at how far we've come. I never thought I was going to see a black chief in the city of Cincinnati.
Sorry about that. Trying to get back to the page. Here it is. Here's the video. It's buffering bad. Sorry about the quality of the video. But yeah, it was really something at that time.
Many of the current reporters and photographers from WLWT were on the ground covering the arrest 20 years ago, including me. Quite frankly, it was a scary time and uncertain time. But once, well, some of the key players back then are still doing the hard work of bridging the gap between community and police, including community activist Iris Rowley. There on the scene, Timothy Thomas was shot, and pastor of New Prospect Baptist Church, Reverend Damon Lynch III, also retired Cincinnati police specialist Scotty Johnson, there along with former Mayor Charlie Lucan, as community leaders surveyed the damage left behind in 2001. When things exploded in 2001, by that time Charlie Lucan had returned to City Hall as mayor. Both he and the Queen City were quickly thrown into the national spotlight.
It was just a tough time. Many news about this. I don't mean this metaphor to be flipped, but we were the only game in town. So we had every civil rights, we had national media, we had the Today Show. I mean, everybody was here. And I think the reputation of the city was serious.
Yep. I was a security guard at the...
And it's survival, but it's survival as
at City Hall
what it has become.
Sorry about the buffering. I mean, I was a security guard when he was married on there at City Hall. I used to have to walk.
For a while, and privately, I worried about it. It touched a lot of people.
Sorry about the page. But yeah. It's wild.
Well, at their core. I look back.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
I thought, wow.
this is Cincinnati.
You know, when we have 300 or 400 people signed up to